We are discussing the methods of measuring seasonal variations. Just I want to recall the previous topics. As you know that time series is nothing but arrangement of data by in accordance with time. We discussed the components of time series. Every time series consists of four components called trend, seasonal variations, cyclic variations, and irregular component. So every time series is as a result of four components: trend, seasonal, cyclic, and irregular. We have framed the models like mathematical model and mathematical models for time series as multiplicative model and additive model. Under additive model, Yt is as a result of all the four components: trend plus seasonal plus cyclic plus irregular. If it is a multiplicative model, all the components are combined with respect to multiplication. Now, these are the models for mathematical time series. So we have discussed various methods for measuring trend as semi-graphical method, semi-averages, moving averages, and principle of least squares. Now we are that part is over. We have come to the methods of measuring seasonal indices. What are the four methods we have? Simple averages, ratio to moving averages, ratio to trend, and link relatives. Those are the four methods for measuring the seasonal variations. Among the four, the first one is discussed in the previous class, like simple averages for measuring seasonal indices. Now we are in the second method of measuring the seasonal indices called ratio to moving averages method. Okay, so just I gave a recap for the previous topics. Now I think you have understood that we are in the second method of measuring the seasonal indices, which is called the ratio to moving averages method. So to measure these, to use this method, as I said you that for theory point of view, the procedures for measuring all the four, you have four methods for measuring here, four methods for seasonal indices. You get all the problems under practicals, but respect to procedures you are going to get the theory in theory examinations. To write the procedure, you should understand the problem. If you can recall the problem, you can write the procedure easily. So to explain this ratio to moving averages method, I considered a problem. So if you can understand the basic steps in this, procedure is nothing but the same. Now let us see what are the major steps involved in calculating the seasonal indices by ratio to moving averages method. So what is the title of this method? Ratio to moving averages. So here, to calculate the seasonal indices using this method, you should calculate, you have four components called TSCI. As I said you that this irregular component cannot be estimated or cannot be eliminated. We can calculate trend. Trend can be calculated by using any of the methods available. Once you have calculated trend means T plus C plus I. After calculating trend, you remove the trend. Okay, if you remove the trend, I think as I said you, these two will be cancelled, and the resulting component is as a result of these three. Now we are going to calculate the seasonal indices by this method. If you can remove these seasonal indices also, the only thing left is nothing but C. So what are the three steps here we are going to do under ratio to moving averages method is, under ratio to moving averages method, in the name itself it suggests we are going to calculate the moving averages in the first step. So estimate the trend values. In the first step, calculate the trend values by moving averages method. Okay, after calculating the trend values, eliminate the trend. Eliminate trend. How can you eliminate the trend? If it is an additive model, subtract these trend moving averages from the given value. If it is a multiplicative model, then you take the ratio for the trend values. Okay, then trend will be eliminated for you. trend is being eliminated. Using after elimination of trend, from here onwards again you are going to use the simple averages method which we have discussed. So what are the three major steps? Calculating trend values by, as it is ratio to moving averages method, calculate the trend values, eliminate trend, and find out the seasonal indices by simple averages method. Let us do a problem, then you can understand in a better way. So first, if you look into the data, I think it consists of, as I said you, seasonal indices data always consists of how many seasons we'll have, either 4 seasons or 12 months. For calculation of these ratio to moving seasonal indices, data generally 12 month data will be given to you, or quarterly data. Here clearly it's a quarterly data. Now you arrange all the data to calculate the moving averages. So what are the basic columns you are going to get is nothing but year and quarter. Then the given time series value which we indicate with YT. Next one you need to calculate 4, as it is of 4 you have 4 quarters. You are going to calculate 4 quarterly moving averages. As 4 is even, recall the moving averages method which we have discussed. As it is 4 and it is even, for centering you need to calculate 2 period moving averages. Okay, so then after this you should eliminate the trend. How do you eliminate trend? Means let us give names for this, as you have a number of columns 1 2 3 4. So to eliminate trend, how do you eliminate the trend? By assuming, as it is a multiplicative model, this is the original time series data, these are trend values. Then you are going to divide this is the 5th column, which you will get that as 2 by 4. Trend is eliminated. Using these trend eliminated values, you are going to calculate the seasonal indices. Again, try to understand. Under this method, ratio to moving averages, you need to calculate moving averages in the first step. In the second step, you should remove the moving trend values either by subtracting if it is additive model, by dividing if it is a multiplicative model. Then using those values, you are going to calculate the seasonal indices. Let us write all those. You have 2001 year, you have 4 quarters, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. What are the 4 values given to you? 75, 60, 54 and 59. This is the given data. Just look into the previous page, you will find this. So in the first step, you should arrange the data by quarter wise. 2001 all the 4 quarters, 2002 4 quarters, 2003 4 quarters and 2004 4 quarters. As we are using ratio to moving averages method, calculate the trend values by moving averages method. Here no time period is given, as you have 4 quarters, calculate 4 yearly moving averages. And centering, as you know, as you need to, whenever it's an even period, you should go for centering. If 12 months are given, you should calculate 12 yearly moving averages and again 2 moving averages for centering. Now, how do you find out the moving averages? Add the first 4, okay, from 74 to 59 and divide by 4, okay, divide by 4, which is nothing but the total of the first 4 values is nothing but 75 plus 60 plus 54 plus 59, which is nothing but 248 by 4. which is nothing but 62. So you should place them between these two. As I said you moving averages, you should place the middle of 4 by 2 between these two, which is nothing but 62. Again, next moving averages, you should start from 60 to 86, which is nothing but 60 plus 60 plus 54 plus 59 plus 86, which is nothing but 259. That should be placed here. 259 by 4 as it is average 64.75. Similarly, you add from third observation, third to next 4 and this to next 4, so on. You add by leaving 1 1, you add 4 successive ones, you will get totals by 4. The third total you are going to get is nothing but where you are going to place here, which is nothing but 264 by 4. Next one is here 273 by 4. The next total is 294 by 4. And you calculate the totals and you need to find the average. 305 by 4. Next one 308 by 4. 313 by 4. 323 by 4. 329 by 4. 335 by 4. 343 by 4. That's all. So you calculate the totals and then let us do the average for this total by 4. This one gives around 264 divided by 4, which is 264 divided by 4, which is nothing but 66. 273 divided by 4, 68.25. 73.5. 74.5. 76.25. 77. 78.25. 80.75. 82.25. So we have calculated 4 yearly moving averages. What is the second one you need to calculate? Next one you need to calculate is 2 yearly moving averages. 2 yearly, 2 quarterly moving averages and trend eliminated values. So as for place I have crossed this one. First one given values YT, 4 yearly moving averages, centering and trend values. This is third column we have calculated. Fourth one and fifth one. Fifth one as a division of 2 by 4. Now how do you calculate the 2 yearly moving averages? You should add the first two averages. Means 62 plus 64.75. 62 plus 64.75 divided by 2 unit, as you are adding 2, which is nothing but add these two and by 2, which is nothing but 120. First one for your clarity I am writing, add first two values by 2, which is nothing but 63.75. that should be placed in between these two values. Okay, so these two values means it exactly represents Q3. So which is nothing but you should place this value again as Q3, which is nothing but 63.75. Next one we have added these two. Next one you should add next two values, 64.75 64.75 plus what is the next total? 66 divided by 2, which is nothing but 65.375. These two should be placed in between those two, which stands for Q4. So which is nothing but 65.375. Next one, you add these two, 62 and 68.25, place in between them, which represents Q1. The value here is nothing but 67.125. Next you add these two values and place in between them, which represents Q2 here, which is nothing but 70.875. Add these two values, next two values 72 and 74, place against them, place in between them, which represents for Q3 73.5 plus 74.5 by 2, which is nothing but 74. Next you add these two values 74 and these two, place in between them, which corresponds to Q4, which is nothing but 75.375, and add next two values and place against them, which represents for Q1, which is nothing but 76.625. Add next two values and repeat till the end. Add these two, place against them, add these two, and so on. Okay, 76. Next one is nothing but 77.625, 79.500, 81.500, 83.000, 84.75. So if you observe, we got a list of values corresponding to each quarter. By doing 4 moving averages, we got a value in between which doesn't correspond to any quarter. By centering, we got some values related to the original one. So here the first value is with respect to Q3, second one with respect to Q4, Q1, and so on. So to eliminate these trend values, you can these are called trend eliminated values. Those can be obtained by, these are the original given values by the respective one. So what is the value here? I said you 2 by 4 means this column divided by 2 quarterly moving averages, which is nothing but what is the it is corresponding to Q3. So you will get scale could cut. So now to find out the trend eliminated values, 2 by 4 original value by trend value. So you got 63, it is corresponding to Q3. So the first value will be 54 by 63.375 into 100, which is nothing but 85.2071. Similarly, this value is corresponding to Q4. What is the value here? 59 by 65.375 into 100, which is nothing but 90.2485. This is corresponding to Q1. What is the value here? 86 by 67.125 into 100, which is nothing but 128 point. You do corresponding 2 divided by 4. You divided 2 by 4 corresponding values. These you will get dashes for the first two. As you don't have the values here, the last two and first two you won't get the trend values. Leaving first two in the beginning and last two in the beginning, you will get the remaining trend eliminated values. You divide those. I'll write all these values directly. 91.7108 by dividing 2 by 4. 85.1351, 106.1360, 117.4551, 92.7536, you won't get values in the first two and second two. Just we have eliminated the values. Next you need to calculate the seasonal indices. Now to calculate the seasonal indices, we are going to use the simple averages method. So for that, let us see what are the columns we are going to. Here you will get year. Okay. How many quarters you have? Here you need to consider the trend eliminated values. You are given with 2001, 2002, 2003 and 2004. How many quarters you have? Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. What are the trend? I said you for the first two and last two you don't have the values. Put dashes there and place the remaining all values horizontally. First value is 85.207, 90.248. See, in some places I am considering 2 decimals and 3 and 4. It's up to you. So these are trend eliminated values. To calculate the seasonal indices for this data, I said you should use the simple averages method. How do you use the simple averages method? In the previous video, you add all these 4 values here quarter wise. Means you need to find out the totals first. First calculate the total for each column. Okay. Then you need to calculate the seasonal indices, means x1 bar, x2 bar, x3 bar, x4 bar. What is the total of the first column? 128.119 plus 117.4551 plus 120.4819. Its total is 366.0562. Okay, here 260.4998, 253.6311, 300.6790. After calculating this, you should go for first averages. You should calculate. How do you calculate the average? How do you calculate how many? What is the total here? You have 366.0562 divided by 3, which is nothing but 122.0187. Next one 92.1666. Next one 253.36. Sorry. This is 84.45. This is 100.2226. Now these are the seasonal indices for you. So what I said, by adding all these you should get a value which is approximately, if it is a quarterly data, you should get a value approximately equal to 400. So by adding all these values we are getting approximately 400, which is nothing but 398 point, which is approximately equal to 400. So again just I will recap the procedure here. This is the second method for calculating the seasonal indices by ratio to moving averages method. In the title itself we have moving averages, so we are going to use moving averages method to calculate trend. As the time series consists of 4 components T, S, C, I, we are going to calculate T trend by moving averages method, and we remove trend from this, to calculate the seasonal indices we are going to average the trend eliminated values. Calculating the trend by moving averages, eliminating the trend values if it is additive model by minus, if it is a multiplicative model by trend, then we are going to find out the simple averages to get the seasonal indices. So as it is quarterly data, we have calculated the moving averages 4 yearly and 2 quarterly data, and then we are eliminating trend by dividing, as by assuming this is a multiplicative model, we are eliminating the trend values, and from the obtained trend values, by calculating the simple average, we are finding the simple seasonal indices for the given data. Thank you.